Greetings, Jedi. Students, seekers, guides, light bringers. This is the fourth of the Zenrai Okukai videos on the introductory techniques of the Jedi Kishibo. If you have not seen the other three or not been through them recently, please feel free to go back and go ahead and look at those first, so you're not lost. So, to begin, we're going to discuss, again, the importance of the centered grip. You want this to be as centered as possible on your thumb because of the way this weapon is used. Okay? You are going to grip with one finger at a time during standard handling. You might have to get a better grip for impact. We'll get into that shortly. But you're going to want either to grip with your middle finger if you are using a reverse grip, or you're going to want to grip with your ring finger if you're using what I call sword grip, where both thumbs are towards the other end of the weapon. Knowing this is important because part of the versatility of this weapon, not just because of its length, but because of its not curved, it has no defined front edge like a bokken. Let me show you what I'm talking about. With a bokken, you have a curve, you have a decided point. And while yes, this is a wooden representation of a sword, much of what we do with the Kishibo can be done with a bokken. In fact, I have heard these called the Jedi bokken for bokken Jedi. However, this is not strictly a bokken. It is part bokken, part jostaff, part hanbo, part eskrima, part bow. And then its own thing. It is its own thing all at once. So, when we're using this, we keep our grip central because that allows for the sword grip and the reverse grip at equal distance. Though not terribly likely, if you are dealing with an opponent on this side and you have him stopped and then someone else approaches from here, you can come down, you can switch back, this grip on both ways, which is the sliding as we showed in the first video. But the important part of this is that this flips very easily. As I was showing, here to here. That's not just a grip technique. If I am here and I have to jab low and they block, this becomes a much faster response than having to come up. You just turn with your front wrist. And as you make contact, you grip and snap at the end of it. Same can be done the other way. You bring it here and continue the strike. In a one-handed thing, you can even swipe side to side. And this is part of the versatility of the weapon. It shows that there is no defensive edge and no offensive edge. There is no attack and defend. It is all the same at the same time. This was inspired by pre-World War II Okinawan Kobudo. When you look at the terminology in this, there's no word for strike. There's no word for block. There is press. That's all that it is. It's a press. You are pressing into an opponent. You are pressing into their attack. You are receiving by pressing. And that's why this weapon is designed to do what it does. It is versatile in that with one central grip, you can do quite a bit with it and not lose any range. Yes, you can do all of that with sword grip, a proper sword grip, except for this one, because you have no range. You have to slide with it then. And yes, sliding is one of the techniques involved, but this is our starting point. Balanced, centered, not looking to be aggressive, not looking for a fight. prepared for defense and counterattack as needed. It is not just a Jedi weapon, it is a point of Jedi philosophy. To demonstrate how the flipping hand works, I have my boxing bag. So we're going to be here. We're going to jab, flip back, zig, jab, jab. I'll do that from this side so it's a little more visible. Jab, flip back, jab. Flip, jab, flip, jab. With the flip, I'm already almost here. This doesn't have to be an excessively strong strike. This kind of strike's going for the nose, the throat, the sternum, clavicle, somewhere that's going to not take a lot of power to hit. This one is going to be the bladder, the groin, the hip, top of the leg. Again, places it doesn't take a lot of power to do some damage. This is not an excessively hard bludgeoning weapon. That's not what it's for. It's a defensive weapon. From our center grip, if we are assaulted for any reason and we need to defend ourselves, this is still a viable strike. Viable strike. You can two-hand or you can one-hand. And it can move kind of fast. So this one's not got a lot in it, but I want everyone to take time and get comfortable with your Kishibo. Learn how it works. Feel it. You can spin it. Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of just spinning things. Our greater community has a habit of light up things that spin. I'm not going to get any further into that, but spinning your staff weapons is not exactly the most defensive or offensive point, but it is getting you comfortable with the weapon in your hand. So you can spin this one-handed, as I was just doing. You can spin it two-handed. Both directions. And this is relatively easy. You're here and then you turn it over. You get as close to this hand as you can to swap them out. And then you just come back. You don't want your grip on this to change much or you're going to slowly walk down the edge of it. So. Both directions. This will help you to get used to the weapon in your hand and keeping that center grip. Like I said, if you do this wrong, you'll end up not in the center. So you're here, grip this way, roll over. Let the roll of this hand be the propellant to keep it going. And all you're doing is keeping it from falling as you flip your hand over. Your hand stays in the same spot. So give those few things some time, some effort. Work on the switching of the hands. Work on your rotations to get you comfortable with the weapon. And your spins. This is most important of keeping the center grip. So again, you're here, get this as close as you can, and while you have it, you flip your hand over and you put it back where it was. It will take a little time, you will walk. You'll walk this way, you'll walk that way, it's fine.